What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? We got a special guest again, highly requested. You can hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, what's going on? Let me get a little intro in and stuff. I got Pitbull City, aka in the Hood Woods, known as PBC. He's in the house. Appreciate you for joining episode 5, brother. Go ahead and start this little intro. Cooking up today, episode 5, a dollar in the dream. That's where we at with it, people. I try to start it off with a little bit of husbandry comment just to put some thoughts out there for everybody. When's the last time we checking collars, people? When's the last time we looking at these collars? We was walking around the yard, you heard somebody wheezing out here. Is the collar too tight? Are we walking around checking them? Are we looking for collar rub on these dogs that's on the chain setups? This is stuff we need to be looking for. I'm just throwing out there something every episode so we know what's going on. We just have something, just a humble reminder of what we got going on out here. But yet again, special guest, Mr. Fred. How you doing? You enjoying your Thursday, brother?
Yeah, man. Just sitting back, relaxing a little bit. Just got to eating dinner with the little lady.
Oh man, you've been doing a lot of dinners, man. You've been doing a lot of dinners, brother.
Oh,
Kicking it out there.
it ain't nobody but me and her. Hey, and my pot belly pig. And he's my wife and my little pot belly pig now. So
Man, you living up good, man. I wish I could get to that point in the future, man. Just a little bit of peace in this crazy world we live in, bro.
oh man, it's the good times, man. To raise the kids, they out the house. They out there making grandbabies and great grandbabies. You know.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Once this motherfucker leave, man, I need a break, bro. I need a break. I don't want to hear nobody cry for about a good 5 years. Maybe shout out a couple of people that came into the chat, Fred. We got Grind Mode Kennels. Salute. Appreciate you for coming by and swinging in. Martinez Game Dog. Salute, brother. Appreciate you for coming by, man. Y'all could have been plenty of places, but y'all here chilling with the Thompson, man, and Mr. Fred, aka PBC, on this Thursday night. AQ Henry's Kennels. Appreciate it, brother, for you stepping in. Elevated Kennels. What's going on, man? Glad you swinging by today too. Black Minion, Minnie, Luis Flores. What's happening, my brother? What's happening? But we ain't gonna make this too long or crazy. As y'all guys slide in, I'll try to shout y'all out as y'all get in the chat. But we're gonna cook on some stuff today. Let's start off. I got to make a correction for myself. My partner here, OG Fred. I forgot, or I wasn't even paying attention. But we had did a live with me and him. And we were talking about the Queen of Hearts stuff, and I don't know if I may have misspoken but we have 2 females off that litter, Mavis. So it was a litter of 2 black pups, males, and I mean 3 black pups, but 2 males, 2 female litter. I wanted to start off with that cook up because you ever found pictures of Mavis that you got, man?
I got them. I didn't go
You
back.
gotta send me that, bro.
I got to give it to you, man. Yeah.
I had to cook on that one because I had to look in the Peds because nobody ever saw. I couldn't recall, but I knew it was one brown pup and that was Queen.
Yeah.
But you didn't really hear about the other female, that black one. But she's up there. She's up there on Peds Online, and you verified it is what it is.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to speak on that,
Oh yeah. A lot of times, there are a lot of boils dogs that we never get to hear about because they're in the underground. But at the same time, uh, if you keep your ears to the ground, you hear about a lot of dogs. And in the past, there were great dogs uh, that was producing, and it don't be that many people that get an opportunity to own uh, a lot of different dogs that they had. Um, at the same time, if some slip through the cracks and you get an opportunity to own a piece of it, you get a chance to see some different traits come into your line. You know what I'm saying? So I was blessed to have a little bit of that on my yard. Uh, it's some dogs that I'm breeding now that has a little bit of the Mavis dog in it. So, you know, it's a lot of the dogs that we can talk about with the Bulls line that not really mainstream like that because, you know, they're behind the scenes.
I greatly appreciate that you doing that breeding. You know, anytime you want to throw me an alley oop, you know,
Hey,
I'm right here by the rim. I'm right here by the rim. You know, I'm just throwing it out there. Ain't putting no pressure on you in front of public. Just throwing it out there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If you cooking like that over there, you know, let me see what you're working with. I know you be hiding pedigrees and taking stuff down and stuff. You know, let me just shoot them my way. Let me take a look at it. That's all I'm saying.
That's one thing Ronald Boys, he hates that boy when he builds a pedigree. I've been building his pedigrees for many years now, I believe about 6 or 7 years. He used to call me the hacker. He said, "Man, you a hacker?" I said, "Nah, man." You know, it was like when I started messing with pedigrees and stuff like that. Like I said, me and Reverend Troy used to spread them out on the floor, man, and he knew how to use the computer and stuff like that. And you know, I wasn't privy to none of that, so he had to show me on, you know, on black and white. But you know, as I graduated up, I learned so much from so many different people, and when I got to learning how to use Peds Online and stuff, I did that for many years, and then you got to start looking at the dogs for what they are. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know, you can see the pedigree. And the pedigree looks good, but when you see the dog in front of you, it don't match up. So a lot of times
Yeah,
you got to be kind of careful on this day and time about a lot of people because some people live by Pets Online. You know, some of the new guys that just getting into the dog game, I don't know if they think that Pets Online is a actual um, registry or what. And some of them really think that on Pets Online is actual got to be true. But that's the farthest from the truth. If it's on Pets Online, it may be a lie. I mean, it may be, you know, because, you know, a lot of people don't use ADBA. A lot of people don't use Bonafide Kennel Club. A lot of people don't use uh, Sporting Dog. You know, a lot of them
yeah.
don't even register dogs. You know, so man, it's just
I think that's a good topic to cook on as well too. We'll get into that later on in the program as far as
yeah. The,
the
as
registering of the dogs and stuff.
you say, the rabbit hole gets deeper.
Yeah, and, you know, just to share with some of the new people that's in the chat, shout out IDT Kennels, shout out 614 Tree, Samurai Kennels, Modern Game Dog. I appreciate you for swinging by, brother. Samurai Kennels said, Fred, shout out for the Hong Kong, forever tell him. He got that was the dude I sent with the
Hello,
Hong Kong.
hello.
He got that Hong Kong blood, man. So I said, damn.
That was a good dog. I like that guy.
Yeah, man, that dude was a workaholic, man. I remember the first time I seen him, you had him by the tree. That motherfucker looked like he was underneath the tree. That motherfucker could dig a hole, boy.
Yeah, he was a digger.
Oh yeah, to China, man. I thought it was gonna be a bowl of rice down there
Hey,
underneath that
they,
tree. The way he was underneath it.
when they call them Chinaman dogs, hey, you wonder if they're going to China or what, bro.
That was a hell of a hole, man. I done seen some holes, man. I done seen some dogs.
I said,
I was by Brown spot one time. He had one. It looked like a meteor hit his yard, man. I said, "Who's back there?" And I think he had Taco again, another Chinaman bred dog. That damn dog was in that damn hole. I said, "God damn, boy." I mean, it looked like a latrine. But Hong Kong was a hell of a dog, man. I'm glad to say I had the pleasure to put my hands on him. I'm glad I seen some offspring off the dog. And I appreciate I actually had offspring off of his bully mate sister, which was for the chat who doesn't know, I had the proud Mary is a niece to the Hong Kong dog. But very solid family tree of dogs, man. Also, what we was originally talking about before I did the shout outs was Peds Online. You know, we started this live podcast and series, you know, for a lot of the new people coming into the dogs, and Mr. Fred brought up a lot of interesting things about Peds Online. And I'm gonna go into some of the things about Peds Online since Mr. Fred was nice enough to bring it up. It is not always accurate. For people who don't understand Peds Online and how it works, it's an online database to keep track of your dogs. You can create pedigrees, you can delete pedigrees, you can put breedings up there that never existed that you may be planning to do. There's just some weirdos that take their dogs and put pedigrees together on their own. All they gotta know is the name of the dog. And I could literally take a dog. If you have a dog that you posted on Peds Online and I know that dog's name, I can take that dog's name without your permission and create a pedigree on my own. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is probably go in the forum and say, yeah, that pedigree that I didn't breed to that dog, whatever, blah, 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 whatever happens on there. I'm not on there anymore. I haven't personally had a Peds Online account in about 4 years. If I do want something, Mr. Fred is nice enough to put my pedigrees together for me, but you know, just not my cup of tea. But for the newcomers, that shit is not law. So if you're purchasing dogs and things of that nature, and you're thinking you're going into this correctly, and they're just sending you a Peds Online, like Mr. Fred said, that is not a registered dog. That somebody just created a Peds Online with that dog, and they're saying that that is without paper documentation verifying that. Don't go off of that thinking that's paperwork. I've seen people go to the extent of printing out the 4-generation pedigree off of Peds Online and hand it to people like it's actual papers. I've seen this happen. So I'm just telling you guys, do not fall for that game. Mr. Fred said a couple of different registries. There's a lot of registries that acknowledge the American Pit Bull Terrier. He listed off a few of them. I mean, to each his own. You know, I deal with ADBA. I got dogs that's double registered with ADBA and Bonafide, but I just kind of stick with the ADBA. But if you're out here purchasing these dogs, don't let somebody hand you a Peds Online and think that that's actual documentation for these dogs. Just throwing it out there for some people who may not know. Where are we going next? Also, we're going to cook up. We had a couple of topics tonight, Mr. Fred. Couple of topics. We're going to talk about the photographs and stuff. You know, I was talking about some pictures. Me and you was having a conversation one day, and we was just talking about the what's the good word to use? The good idea of taking photographs of your generations of dogs, your pictures, your pups, your adult dogs. I mean, just having some photo documentation, even though your dogs may be registered, just for your own personal record, having some nice photographs of your dogs, knowing where you came from if you have a breeding program, you know. You can share on the pictures, Fred, because I really got the picture thing from you, because you were around before the fancy cell phones, and you got some pictures that you just straight up took off the old school style, and they some beautiful pictures, man. I ain't gonna lie, I still use a couple of your old junks.
Yeah, before I even knew how to use the cell phone, I used to have me a camera phone. And tell you the truth, I used to take that camera phone everywhere I go, just in case I see a dog that I like. And I would take the pictures and stuff. And in the early days, I used to have pictures in my barbershop on the wall. And we had pictures of the dog with the pedigree sitting beside him and stuff like that. And, you know, I just kept a record of different bloodlines. That's what I was really trying to capture in the beginning, was the bloodlines. You know, that what really stuck out in my head with the American Pit Bull Terrier was bloodlines. And, you know, even till this day, you know, because a lot of times we as dog breeders and guys that love the breed itself, the American Pit Bull Terrier. All of us got different things that we like about the breed. And I can't really say all of us are the same. But I can say this, because me and you had a conversation, that after a while it becomes redundant talking about certain dogs and stuff like that. Because you get stuck in like a little circle. You keep going around like a little rat on that little wheel, because you stuck in that little circle that you in. So when we talk about these dogs, just kind of like have an open mind. If you have an open mind, I believe you'll go a lot farther than on that little wheel that you're turning on. You know, Bloodlines is a great thing because you're going to get a mixed bag of different lines of dogs that carry different kinds of traits. And not only different kind of traits they're going to carry, they just going to carry, I mean, we see different kind of dogs as far as having some, we would call it having problems. You know, I know me and you was talking earlier about the refining processes and stuff like that. You know.
Oh yeah, you can tie that into this if you need to. Go ahead.
So you had already sent me different questions and stuff, but when
Yeah,
I
you can whip this thing. You can whip this thing up like how you want, Fred. You an OG. You can cook, man.
When I start talking about the animals, I'm just like any other dog man that really have a passion for these dogs. My mind is like really into having the best of what I own. You know, and when we say the best of what we own, in our world of understanding, I call what I have the best of what I own. You call what you have the best of what you own, you know? So in the world of dogs, all of us walking around thinking we got the best. So when you see things that you don't like in a refining process, you start to lean farther away from it. We could talk about digging holes. We were just talking
All
about
right.
Hong Kong, right? Man,
Yeah.
Hong Kong has so many great traits and potential. Now, at the same time, I had different dogs on my yard that was doing different things. Now, Hong Kong went to a friend of mine. Now, stayed there a long time, but the guy got out of dogs. So at the same time, you got to look at it like this. Because we was talking about also finding a good home for these dogs. So
Yes,
most of
sir.
the time, I sell dogs, yes I do. And that's what I've been doing, selling dogs and breeding dogs. And I'm enjoying the dogs that I have. Now, I don't get into the fighting ring and stuff like that. So, you know, when you talk about what kind of bite dog got and stuff like that, you know, you going out of my pay grade, really, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really speak on it.
And just FYI, I'm not in the fighting ring either, people. So whatever
No,
Rico case or whatever, I am not involved in shit. I
I,
love and take care of my dogs and to the best of my capabilities, and I can buy my own bracelets. I don't need no handcuffs from nobody. So just throwing it out there. But go
well,
ahead, finish your thought.
well, you know, like last time, Brother Ram, I love that brother. I told Thompson to make sure he introduced me to Ram. I want to be introduced to him the right way, though. You feel me? But I know who Ram is. I ain't no fool, you know what I'm saying? But Ram's talking about past things and past life. I'm still breeding dogs right now today, you know what I'm saying? That's what I do. I'm not changing my MO. I always been Pit Bull City, and people in North Carolina that knows Pit Bull City been doing the same thing for a while. You feel? And I ain't trying to be something that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So when people come to get dogs from me, people say, "Well, I wouldn't buy a dog from Fred because he ain't doing this and he ain't doing X, Y, Z." Hey, that would makes me different than the next man. Well, you go to the next man to get your dogs. I already have a clientele. I don't need you to come get dogs from me. I understand that. I'm in a place in my life now that I really don't care about you getting a dog from Pit Bull City. If that's what you want. So don't even call me and ask me X, Y, Z because I'm not into that. I got good dogs and I'm selling good dogs for what I know to be true. For what I know.
And you've been doing it for a long time.
Well, not only
and I tip my hat to you.
To hang my hat on me doing it a long time, I'm hanging my hat on the refining process that I'm going through with my dogs. Now, the refining process that I'm talking about is we have a eye for dogs. Well, I do. I can't.
Oh yeah.
I have an eye for dogs. Okay.
You know, you got the eagle eye over here with you.
Me and Anthony Graham used to talk about that all the time. Oh, I can pick them out a group of 100. That's what he used to say. But you know, I don't know. Sometimes he showed enough pick Manny though. He showed enough pick Manny. I got to give it to him. So you know,
yeah, I give him that.
Everybody got to say, well, I got an eye for this. I got an eye for that. So if my eye wasn't that good, people would have been and told me by now. But at the same time, I take and I go through the dogs, and if I see flaws, I start to see things in the dogs that's carrying over again and again and again. I start to move away from it. I mean, just like any other dog man does, even like people that you know been doing for hundreds of years. So now I done got it to a place where now I can pick and choose what I want to breed. If I want to do a cross, I do a cross. But if I see that cross didn't work, I never do it again. And a lot of people always say, Fred, when are you going to do that breeding again? You know, because I did the breeding with Manny the Pitchfork. It was Manny the Pitchfork. It was all right. But the one I liked it the best was Bam Bam the Pitchfork. That was my opinion. Because what I did, I took and bred Pitchfork first to Manny's grandson, which was Mo. I bred the Mo first. And then I
remember Mo.
Then I bred the
dirty buckskin dog.
Yep. Then I bred the Bam
like a smut color.
I bred the Bam Bam second. And then I bred to Manny. Reason I did that because everybody was what they call Manny hype. And, you know, and I always hear the Manny hype. Well, you can call it what you want. If the dog producing good dogs, that's point blank period. But I wanted to prove the point. He wasn't just producing good dogs. His grandkids was producing just as good as he was. You know, we had did the inbreed, and I bred Lady Gaga to Manny, and there was a dog out here. His name was Buckwheat, and there was some guys that got Buckwheat, and he was producing good dogs, and he got stolen. But at the same time, what I'm saying is this: not that an inbred dog is a good way to breed a dog. I did it at the time because I knew that the litter that Manny came from and Gaga came from, they died at an exponential rate. I mean, they was here for a couple of years and all of them were dead in a couple of years. So for Manny to live as long as he did and for Gaga to live as long as she did, it was incredible, man. And you know, we were able to get dogs off of those dogs and be able to talk about them today. You know, I'm gonna even talk about my friend, what's his name? Craig Fowler. He was the owner of Wolf Nilo.
R.I.P. Mr. Fowler, man. R.I.P. Fowler.
he died in a truck accident, and his wife gave me the Wolf Nilo dog, which was a Red Boy Jocko dog. Now, like I said earlier on the last podcast, I I'm not really the big Red Boy Jocko fan, but I was a termite fan though. And some people say, well, what's the it's a big difference now. A termite dog and a Red Boy Jocko dog. Both of them got Red Boy in it, but they not the same. But I'm gonna
Night
go.
and day.
That's another conversation for later. But when I got this Red Boy Jocko dog, his wife said, "Fred, I want you to make this dog where people know that the dog meant something to my husband." And I said, "Well, I'm gonna breed him, and I'm gonna put his name out there. I'm gonna campaign him for you." So that's what I did. I bred that dog to so many dogs that we could find, and he was producing at that kind of rate. Good dogs, and even to
At a
this,
high rate. High rate.
even and one thing about Nilo, he was a very powerful dog. I ain't even want to call it strong. I'm gonna call it powerful. Not only was he powerful, he made offsprings that was just as powerful as he was. They had a strong will to live, and they were just very intelligent. They knew how to move and get out of trouble. They would never uh, uh, give it up where they was going to just let you have your way with them like that. They were just dogs that was thinking ahead of you 3 or 4 times ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter whatever they was into. I mean, you could take them for a walk, and they my my daughter is a doctor, and she had uh, one of Nilo's sons in the house, and you talking about he was almost like a poodle, man. But you know, she had to get rid of him and bring him back to me because when she moved to Myrtle Beach by herself, he became more like a guard dog. So that was a little bit dangerous. So you know, we had to do a little bit of adjust. But I don't want to take the whole show over, man.
No. You cooking, but I'll go ahead and elaborate on this refining process because that was one of the questions that we got brought up, and Fred eloquently decided like when we're coming into these dogs, and I'm gonna start it off like this. I'll open it like this. This is coming from you. This podcast here, we talking to some breeders. This is not coming from a handler or a conditioner's outlook. This is coming from a breeding standpoint, a person who is trying to create certain traits and caliber of dogs. And well, by whatever means however you assess your animals, because like I said in the prior episode, you know, what you do with your dogs is your business. Whatever you decide to choose is breeding quality. Whatever assessments you make on that animal is between you and your animal. And this also ties into the distribution of dogs, selling dogs. You know, Fred said it perfectly. I don't need your money. And this is the outlook that a lot of young breeders that are trying to get their dogs open to the public, you need to have that mindset. Having a mindset of trying to sell somebody something and having to come up with this whole story just to push a dog is not necessary. Mr. Fred told y'all, people who got an eye for dogs got an eye for dogs. They can see something and say, I want something off of that. That's the one that I'm interested. People who are looking at dogs. You never have to get up here and incriminate yourself to sell a dog. It's not necessary. The greatest breeders out here, the multi-million-dollar breeders out here, they're not telling you a whole story on the phone for you to buy a dog from them. What they're telling you is, I have this available. It's bred like this. I have the documentation. It's off of this sire and this dam. From that information, you should be able to move forward with a purchase. All this other hoopla and this and that is not necessary. For the young brothers out here who are trying to get their dogs out to the public, Do not incriminate yourself. Do not say anything stupid. Well, why you bred this and what made that work? It's none of your goddamn business. It's bred like this. It's all this dam. It's this sire. It's this age. It's this bloodline. That's all the information I can withhold to you. That's pretty much it. A lot of people, and I'm getting into this. When I do a breeding, a lot of people notice I'm not up on YouTube. I got this for sale, and come get this and pick this up, and we don't play like that over here. I show my pups, and whoever's interested will contact me. I don't have to sit up here and give you a whole diatribe of what this dog is for you to purchase a dog from. I don't care about your money, nor do I need your money to that extent to incriminate myself. So that part was selling dogs and tying into the refining process. Yet again, here we go with the refining. You can purchase good dogs from somebody, but you can sit there and raise those dogs and look at them dogs and say, hey, this could be way better. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't really care for these traits, but there's an abundance of good traits that I like that I can build off of. That is the refining process from my aspect. Going through the dogs and picking the dogs that you enjoy and like that bring the traits to the table that you enjoy and casting aside those who don't. From a breeding standpoint, everything from a breeding standpoint is based off production. Is it producing what I like? And is it working? Production is key. Everybody can't produce. You may have a great performing dog that can't produce. All of these things are viewed through the eyes of what lane you're in. A lot of handlers purchase dogs. They're not breeding them. If I purchase a dog from somebody and I go and I don't buy dogs like that, it's been years since I purchased a dog. Just when I was out there dibbling and dabbling and purchasing dogs, I'm a very honest person. I'm not buying this dog from you to advertise this dog for you or anything. I'm using this dog in a breeding program. I'll let you know what it's throwing. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not. That's where I come from when I'm purchasing dogs. I'm using this to implicate it to with what I got. I'm trying to steal some traits from what you have. So if I purchase a dog, I'm very honest about what I'm going to do with the dog. For the new people purchasing dogs, you get on the phone with a breeder, and it's kind of to the point where you don't want to come off like you're green. So you're talking to the breeder and you're trying to assure the breeder that you know what you're doing with animals. So the breeder can say, this is somebody that I could possibly deal with to get a dog from you. They seem knowledgeable. But what we do is with the new guys is you try to act like you know too much. And then when you acquire the dog, you make a silly green mistake. Possibly may cost your dog its life. So when you purchase a dog, always be humble. I ask questions. I don't know everything. I'm right about stuff. I'm wrong about stuff. I'm a grown man. I can acknowledge it. If I don't know something, just ask. You don't have to put on a huge facade like you're a guru dog man purchasing a dog from a breeder, and then something happens down the line that's a rookie mistake, and it could have been easily avoided if you just asked the question. Hey, man, I know I got this dog from you. I usually keep my dogs like this. I'm not familiar with the traits and tendencies of your dog. Is it best to have it on the chain? Is it best to have it in the kennel? Is it best, these questions can save your dog's life. If you purchase a dog from somebody who has everything kenneled down and you know you're a chain person, ask the questions about it. Hey, man, they do good on the chain? Some dogs aren't good on the chain, just like some dogs are not good in the kennel. My dogs aren't good in the kennel. I put them in there. They become destructive. They become agitated no matter how much you run them. You can put them on a slat mill, run them for 45, 50 minutes, do a little spring pole work with them, put them back inside. About 2-3 hours after they regroup, they want to get out and they start doing destructive behavior. So opening up just the guidelines for new people purchasing dogs. Don't act like you know too much, because you may know a lot about the dogs you own, but that's not going to be a reflection of the dog that you're purchasing sometimes.
I believe
people.
I believe that's a good way to stand on. Uh, uh, if people think that the dogs that you had is how all the American pit bulls are, that's just a closed-minded person, because I hear people, because I've been breeding dogs for a while and I just hear them talk and they call me and they say, well, I don't like an Eli dog because they'll give their reasons. And I don't like red boy dogs and they give their reasons. I don't like Carver dogs and they'll give their reason. And, they'll go down the line of stuff that they don't like. Then they'll tell you what they do like. And it's almost like they go into a candy store. But they don't realize a lot of the dogs that we have today got a little bit of everything in them. And the thing is that we, as dog men, we put these dogs together a certain way to achieve a certain goal. So if you take and start saying that you don't like something and you done cut yourself off of a whole line, a bloodline of dogs. So, the bloodlines are very prominent. I sent you a whole DNA profile this past week because I just wanted you to get a gist of just bloodlines. You know what I'm saying? And
Red Dog Conley.
yeah, well, I ain't even want to get on the red dog stuff or the old
Yeah,
family.
but
I'm,
I just referred to that DNA
yeah,
profile you said. Yeah, I
I,
feel where you going with it.
I, I did that for a reason because you could see which lines were prominent in this dog. And as you look at the prominent bloodlines in these dogs, it's the same ones that's in the dogs that we got.
Yep.
Pretty much. I mean, I
Yep.
didn't see too much of nothing that was in them dogs that we didn't have. So at the same time, if you click on the Maloney 2, you're going to see Dabo blood sitting right there 2 times. But if you look at, Boudreaux dogs, you see Dabo in the back there, you might have to go a little bit farther back. But at the same time, back in the day, that's what people were trying to get, dogs that had the Dabo blood in. So the Dabo dogs was coming in different things, man. You had the Panther dogs, you had Zebo. I mean, you had different dogs that meant something when you would say dogs, and now that we are farther in the future, those dogs, if they wasn't being predicated in your line, you got some watered down mess. So I look
Yes.
at it like this. If I had some dogs that was being predicated off some stuff, right? Because I bred my old family red to some fat bills. I think it was fat bill stuff on the top, close up with the I think that dog name was Dead Eye. Thank you.
Two eyes. Two eyes. Two eyes.
Two,
That's that Bill.
yeah,
Two eyes.
the 2 eye stuff on the top. It had the El Negro and the spike stuff on the bottom. And I bred my male, which was old family red Rufus Chinaman, to their female. Now at the time she wasn't it's been over 15 years ago, I want to say. At the time this dog was just a regular dog, you know what I mean? I was the first one to ever breed to it. And I bred my old family red Rufus Chinaman dog to it. And I had 3 puppies. Now, to get this female dog, at the time I had a termite dog from Eddie Barrero. So it was termite, coming through Pedro on the top, and it was coming through Hot Dog and some Jeep Blood, that DD dog on the bottom. So I traded that dog to get this Fat Bill dog because I wanted to move away from the termite stuff and kind of like solidify what I was doing with my Rufus Chinaman stuff. I was gonna put that Fat Bills in it, and I knew all them guys were working together on this end already. So I said, man, this gonna make some hot sauce for me. So that's the way I was thinking. So the guys that I got this dog from, I don't know if they could see a little bit of what I was doing, but they did not want me to do that breeding at all. So when I did the breeding, it was 3 puppies. It was 3 males. So the man's supposed to come and get him 1 puppy out of the litter. You know, that man worried me to death about this 1 puppy. He worried me to death so bad about that 1 puppy. When he came here to get that 1 puppy, no, I'm serious. When he came here to get that 1 puppy, I said, man, go ahead and take 2 because I only need nothing but 1. Yeah, because I don't want my blood to get out there to the public, man. And don't need my blood out there like that. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and take 2, brother. I just need 1. So I kept that 1, right? That man still stood there for hours and hours and hours. Like, I was waiting for him to go home. You done got 2 puppies. Let's go. It's this over with. And man, you know what? I took that female, the mama dog, out that cage and gave that man that dog.
Oh, you get back the mother too.
I said, go on home. Do you know that man where I kept that dog, that 1 puppy off that dog for a whole year? And that man worried me to death about that 1 dog, bro. And I told him, give me $100 and come get the dog. And after I went through all that, you know what I'm saying? It's best. Yeah. God bless the child that has his own. Understand this. If you got these American Pit Bull Terriers, do not let somebody, oh man, I don't know if I'm just in my feelings or what.
But no, and it's the truth because that's how it plays out. Because somebody always gives you something with the assumption that, oh, I got over on you, and then when you take the dog and you pair your breeding together, like what you gonna do with it, and they never even thought about it that way. It's a problem.
When you have puppies off this dog, you owe me 2 puppies back. Man, hey, my daddy used to tell me, if you give a man $10, don't expect it back, man. If you give him $100, if you ain't on get a man the $100 without worrying about him giving it back to you, don't give it away, bro. Keep it.
I want to expand on that. I want to expand on that right there. And this is something that happens a lot of times, and I've seen a lot of good friendships. I've seen a lot of bad stuff happen from that. And that's something that I learned the hard way. And I'm just going to share it with you. If you sell something to somebody and just imagine in your head, is there anything that they're going to do that's going to make me feel some kind of way about it? Don't sell the fucking dog. Whatever you think the person is going to do, if 3-4 years later pop up and you see that person do something, or breeding or something with that dog, and you are going to be highly enraged, keep your fucking dog. I can't stress that enough. I've seen people sell certain stuff and just go crazy after they sold it. Ain't nobody put no pistol to your head. You accepted the money for that animal, and whoever you sold that animal to, that's their property. It's too much feelings going on. If I sell something, that's why I don't sell a lot of older dogs. I sell my pups when I have them available. After I pick what I want to move forward with in my program, I'll let some go. But best believe there is nothing and nobody can tell you anything. Shout out Gas and Go Kennels too in the chat, my brother. But what you call? Nobody can tell you I will never sell something that I can't replace myself. I never sold a dog to somebody with weight or pressure on them. Oh yeah, could you do this breed and I could get this back and not? No, I don't need you for anything. I'm established. You're purchasing something that I created. I'm not chasing after it. If I got to chase after it, I'm not going to sell it. And that's the mindset a lot of people need to sit down and have. But when people are hard up for cash and they need money, they want to sell dogs. And then you sell something and somebody do go pay a stud fee or get some frozen semen off of this dude, whatever the circumstances is. And now you sitting in your house punching the wall and shit. That ain't it. Young brothers, don't fall into that game. If you know you need it, you better feed it. Don't sell it.
That's a good cook right there. That's good cooking. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. It gets so ugly, man, because people harass you and stuff, man. I haven't had that happen with me to the extent of what you had when you got into it, but what happened with me was just like
hey,
I would do breedings years later and people would get upset. Like I had the dog for 3 years. 4 years.
hey, that's light work stuff, man. Hey, getting back to what we were talking about earlier about Peds Online, man. I seen this cat, man. We was chasing. I'm gonna call it chasing. We were chasing that Nate blood, you know, them Nate dogs. We want some Nate blood, you know what I'm saying? At the time, Weasel, the dog champion Weasel, he was out there. He was real big out there at the time. And then also you had another dog, Joe Dirt, I think his name was. And then you had a dog named Nate Dog. He was a pretty decent dog. But, you know, Lucas had some dogs that was coming off of Horseshoe Nate. And he was breeding dogs different kinds of ways and stuff like that. And then, you know, he started getting a bunch of T-boy dogs from the man when he got out of dogs. So, you know, I was just around at the time when a lot of that was going on. And right before all that happened, it was some dogs down in Florida that were coming through the back street true stuff. And I ain't no call the name of the dogs, but they were down in Florida. And one of my partners, he seen pedigree, and it was on Peds Online, you know. And that thing was lit up like Christmas tree, you know what I'm saying? That thing was lit up, boy, like a Christmas tree. Anybody can light up a pedigree. You understand what I'm trying to say?
All you gotta do is add a digit to the end of the sentence, and you can make that motherfucker 20 different million colors: pink, yellow, blue, all types of weird shit. But go ahead.
Oh. So that joker left North Carolina, went down to Florida, and I know he paid right at $3,000 for the female, and right at $2,000 for the male. But he came all the way back to North Carolina without any paperwork. And it said the guy told him he was going to send the paperwork.
Wow. Yeah, man. I want to cook on this paperwork thing too, man. I'm gonna cook on this little paperwork.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now, how as dog food is, how is this medicine is, how these people want you to take care of these dogs in these pens and all that comes with these American Pit Bull Terrier now, you got to choose your own poison, bro. And if you're going to have these dogs and you're not going to have them in the right way with the right certifications and stuff like that, if I can't do it right, I don't even want them, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
being honest.
It's a reality check when it comes to this stuff because people hit me up all the time, and like I said, papers don't make a dog, and they
Oh
ain't gonna
no,
break a dog.
oh no, hold up.
This is basic this is basic business. This is like a title to a car. It's basic business. That's all I be trying to relate to people because people always change the narrative of this conversation. You breed for papers. The papers don't make the dog. Blah blah blah. That ain't a fucking. That's not the conversation. The conversation is this is just basic business. That's what it is. You get involved in these dogs and you get an attachment. Like I always told people, I had dogs without papers. Like I said, when I got rid of I had good dogs without papers, solid animals. When I made that decision, it was because I had to get business right. That's what it is. Business. When you start, it's different from being if you're just a person who have your dogs in your yard and you're not selling dogs and that's just your thing. That's cool. That's fine. But when you put yourself in a position where you're advertising and you're distributing dogs, and this paperwork issue comes up, it's best to just do it the right way. It saves you time. It saves you headache. It saves you strife. Mr. Fred just alluded. Ain't nothing cheap about these dogs.
Well,
Because that would be the truth.
not only that. Why would you say that you have the paperwork and that the paperwork is coming, and you got to lie? You know what I'm saying? Because
That be the key. That's the point that I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to allude to. It's not important until it's
Tom,
fucking important.
Don't we got a lot of people listening to us tonight, and I ain't look. I'm gonna tell. I don't care about the feelings.
Yeah, it's different factors. It's different factors to this.
Hey, and I'm talking to you. And you know, if you was a dishonest person, Thompson, I would have been cut you loose. You know what I'm saying? And
No, man, I don't do that. I don't do that. And if I had dogs without papers, I'm just telling you I don't have fucking papers. It's not an argument.
Hey, you don't move like that. I don't associate myself with jokers that move like that because I done been stuck before, and I didn't like it, and I'm pretty sure the guys that stuck me have been stuck. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I don't know if it's something that people say, well, they stuck me, and that's your turn to get stuck. Man, come on now. That's why a lot of, like you said.
Hold on one quick second, Fred. I just brought Brown in. Brown, you can hit. Oh shit. I don't know where the hell he just went. But go ahead. Hey Brown, if you was trying to get in, come back to again. I don't know what just happened. But go ahead, Fred. He was talking about not being dishonest and stuff, and not dealing with people like that.
Well, I don't try to surround myself with the negativity, man. I got enough going
on. And Brown, turn your camera off, bro. Turn that camera off.
Yeah, I got you, my boy.
All right, yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, man, because it's a dishonest thing, and it's like we break it down historically speaking. This is where we going with it. Historically speaking, if I was matching dogs, I don't give a fuck about papers. I make my money off the match. Just like the conditioner makes his money off the key. The breeder makes his money off his pups. This is how the train line, this is how everybody got paid historically, if you're talking about it. So if I go to a box man, a handler, and talk about that, he doesn't give a fuck. If he found a dog on the side of the road that was killing shit, he's got a payday. Certain priorities matter to certain people in certain lanes. Just like medicines and vitamins and all the things that a conditioner uses, his feed, his program, his timing, that's valuable to his lane because he's working. If I'm breeding them, the people who are coming to deal with me, papers is in my lane. I gotta provide that to people who want to deal with me, my clientele. If I'm operating on that level that I chose to operate on, just like Mr. Fred chose to operate on. It's different lanes for different people. And we all got to understand historically what that was and who was doing what. So a question is only validated from the person you're asking. Well, talk to a breeder and talk about papers don't mean shit. In our little room, we just look at you like, okay. You go to a handler and talk about papers. I don't give a fuck about papers, man. Fuck them papers. Is this motherfucker going to give me this money tonight? Am I going to win? That's the priorities and levels to what's going on here. So we can't group everybody in the same bubble because it doesn't apply to everybody in their lane. Go ahead, Fred.
Yeah. At one time, I guess, back in the 70s, 60s, and early 80s, as the guys talk about the fraternity and some people call it the circuit. You know what I'm saying? You got different names that you call it, but it was more underground back then. So a lot of dogs that we see today, especially the different bloodlines and stuff, nobody knew anything about these dogs because it wasn't for the public eyesight to see. So when you come to
you on, Brown. I can hear you. I think you finally got it together. Hey, Fred, hold on 1 quick second before I let you finish. Let me introduce Brown's Kennels. This brother from another mother, man. Me and this dude go way back. We talked about countless hours on the road looking for these dogs. Like Mr. Fred was just alluding to, talking about how things aren't privy to the public. Me and Brown had to go drive and find that stuff. So I want to introduce Brown's Kennels. Y'all can follow him on YouTube. Hey, Brown, you got a Facebook or something? No?
Yeah, Facebook Sosa. You know what I mean? Sosa Brown. You can find me on the IG, Instagram shit, son. Brown Kennels.
You the third official guest on the Thompson'S podcast. Everybody, welcome Brown's Kennels, my brother. But Mr. Fred was cooking. Go ahead, Fred. Finish your cook up real quick. You was talking about the dogs wasn't privy to the public like that.
Hey, Brown, they got my
Hey, I got your blood pumping, huh, son?
Hey,
you already know, son.
Hey, Brown, I'm about to switch gears again, boy.
Boy, I know.
Hey, Brown.
What up?
Hey, boy, we'll go down memory lane on them. I don't want to do that, but hey, I'm gonna let you talk a little bit, man. Golly. But hey, I love y'all guys. You know it.
Hey, yo, this shit right here is like history, son. Shit, at the end of the day. Yeah, yo, you already know, like.
Yeah, man. You know me, man.
Yo, shit, we come from the bottom. We come from the bottom, son. We come from the bottom. You know what I mean? Shit. Papers ain't matter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Papers ain't matter, son. Like, at the end of the day, son, niggas got on a journey,
Hey, you still there?
He cut out. Brown.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yo. Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, shit, we started from the bottom. You know what I mean? And, when you come from the bottom, shit, this a dog world, man. Like, everybody out here to try to prove something to somebody that, shit, you don't got nothing to prove to. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I try to put the young bulls on the right path, man, because it's so easy to get caught up in today's climate. I love the historic stuff. I read books. I own the books. I may throw my book collection on my community page after this live. I own the books, but we live in such a touchy time, man, where anything you say can be used against you. I had an OG tell me, don't say nothing to nobody on the phone and no shit like that, that if it got played in court, you would have to drop your head.
Facts.
And I can't be any more honest. I can't be any more honest with y'all. We fall in love with it and it's cool. And like I said, for the internet people and the stuff, the typing and stuff, that's cool because y'all are just commentating. But for people who are really dealing in these dogs, I just be wanting y'all to heed that shit because they will bandage your shit, give you a case, kill your damn dogs, and then when it's all said and done, you're not allowed to have dogs anymore. They will railroad you. So don't get the historic stuff confused with what's happening in the present day. Everybody in these dogs got to operate the way they operate because they don't want to lose their animals. That's why the contracts and all the wild shit you hear people having to do is because they want to protect themselves and their animals. And Mr. Fred alluded to, a puppy sale ain't worth my yard of dogs. That's over 10 years of hard work. I don't have the same dogs I started out with. It was a lot of culling, a lot of selective breeding over the years to get what I got.
Process.
Yeah, the original cast members ain't here no more. There's two of them left, Cookie and Mary.
Refining process, brother.
So a puppy sale ain't worth your yard.
Hey Thompson, you know, Bruh Brown here now, but it looked like he done dropped again. But I wanted to say, you know, when I think about, you know, you and what you're doing on this live and stuff like that, I always look at it like if I was in the position of where I used to be when I didn't know anything about these dogs and how to get in touch with somebody that had something good. And, you know, a lot of people are not able to be around good people that's going to give them good advice and that's going to show them how to own some good dogs without all the extra problems. And I want them to know that some of the stuff that you go through dealing with these dogs and dealing with some of the cats that you got to deal with, you don't have to go down that road just to own a good dog, bro. I know I deal with some guys that don't do a whole lot of that nonsense. And like, if they have something, I'll let you know about it. Even my partner Ronald Boyles, whenever he got something for sale, he calls me. Whenever he has a dog that he want me to build the pedigree, I build the pedigree. He calls me to build a pedigree because I build it in such a way that you won't be deleting nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, Ronald done sent me old pedigrees from way back, man. He sent them to me, and I got them in my little special place. I keep all my Ronald Boyles stuff. And look, bro, you see some of them old pedigrees that man had? I can go back so far, they won't be able to delete it. You know what I'm saying? I build it from way back and come all the way up to the present age right now. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I build pedigrees for Ronald, I build them from the front to the back. And just like
you go in
the same way we build them pedigrees from the front to the back, I talk to the man and he shows me what these dogs meant in that pedigree, where they were sitting at in that pedigree. And now that you can look at different animals, different lines that he had that brought different things to the table for a reason. You know what I mean? It's a reason behind all of it. So if you got a yard, your yard is going to start to resemble what you like. So if you, like Thompson said, his yard done changed from when it first started, you know what I'm saying? And Thompson, he came to my house, I know about a year ago or probably, and he could tell my yard had changed from when he first came up. And Brown remembered me from when he first started coming around, you know. Brown, he really wasn't into the Boys dogs. And I said, Brown, don't feel bad because I'm just starting to get into it myself. But I'm going to tell you like this. I've been seeing this and I've been seeing that. And look, I always told Brown, I said, don't get in no hurry. You'll figure it out. Why you laugh, Brown? What?
Hey, you already know, son.
Hey, Brown. One thing about it though, when you figured it out, oh baby, go ahead. Hey, that was your introduction.
Oh, you already know, Fred. Like you know, because at first of all, you know what I mean. I was just looking for the dog. You know what I mean, versus the blood. You know, I wasn't a pedigree type dude. You know what I mean. And like they say, is you know, a good dog is where you find them. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, you know, I found some good dogs, you know what I mean? And I stuck with it. And see, a lot of people don't realize, right? When you get in it and you stick with it, you know, it's a bunch of people out here got dogs, man. Everybody claim they got boyish dogs. Everybody got this. Everybody got that. But what you got though? You know what I mean? What you trying to do? What you trying to produce? You know what I mean? What do you like? You know what I mean? You knew what I like, Fred.
Hey, bro. I can't say I knew what you like, but I knew you were hungry and you had that look in your eye. Hey, Thompson. Hey, Thompson. That was many years ago. But I'm telling you,
this is damn near over a decade ago, man. Shit, this is over a decade ago.
Hey, till this day, he's still the same way though. He's a great guy, man. A good father to his kids. Was an excellent husband to his wife. God bless her. She passed away a couple of years ago. And look, man, he's still standing in the gap, still doing his fatherly duties. Man, let me tell you, he's an inspiration to me, man.
I tell Brown all the time, man. This is your flowers. I started this podcast, and I was thinking about how I wanted to start it, and do I want to have certain guests on? And I said I wanted this to be something about the people that's in my circle that taught me and I learned from. And I'm here to give y'all flowers while y'all here. And I salute to you, Brown. You are a pillar, brother, because I couldn't fathom what you went through, and then to still be in these dogs as hard as you in these dogs and still keep your life together, brother. You are an inspiration to all black brothers out here, man. And salute to you, my brother. For everybody to hit.
Nigga, appreciate that shit, my nigga. That's love, my boy. It's love, man. Shit, I appreciate you, nigga. You know what I mean? Appreciate you guys. You know what I mean?
Hey, we ain't getting too emotional on here. We ain't getting too emotional here, but this is what it is. This is real shit. It's people behind these dogs.
Yeah.
It's people behind these dogs.
Yo, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Yo, we might fuss and fight. You know what I mean? But we fuss and fight because we keeping it real. You know what I mean? So you might not like what I say, you know, but at the end of the day, yo, we family. You know what I mean? We never let the dogs get between us.
No.
You know what I mean? I done seen mad people, you know what I mean, that I rock with. You know, people get sensitive, man. I ain't no sensitive type dude, yo.
I mean, if you can't take the critique from the people, and we've all had our spats in our circle. But at the end of the day, everybody was always man enough to say, hey, man, I respect your critique. You know, it's a genuine love behind this. And that's what they got to come back to with these dogs, man. It's some people just get into these dogs and they immediately around a bad group of people. I mean, immediately. And it taints the whole thing. And I would like to say, when I got into these dogs, I ran across a lot of bad people. And then I ran across a lot of good people, man. And when you get around good people in these dogs, the experience of owning them and have it gets even better, man. It really does.
Hey, I can say, man, a few years ago, me and Thompson had a little falling out, man. And Bruh Brown was he was the Deacon Brown then. I tell you, he came in and he talked to the young blood, and the young blood Thompson called me back and apologized. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know where it would have went if Bruh Brown went and been there for me. But the
Man,
thing was,
he said some real shit.
but the
We
thing, what I'm telling you, me being an older cat, I'm 57 years old. And you know, my son is older than Thompson, you know what I'm saying? So I look at it like I'm hanging out with some guys younger than me at the same time. I'm trying to be the best example of what I need to be as a man. You know, I
mm,
know what it is to have a father. My father was in the house with me until he closed his eyes. I mean, he wasn't in the house with me, but lived right in front of me where I live at. He lived in the house in front of me. And my granddaddy lived at the end of the road down there. But where I live at, all my family was living right here where we live at. But I've seen men, and I've seen men married to their wives until they died. You know what I'm saying? I'm with my wife, and I'm going to be with mine until I leave out of here. And Thompson was the same way, and Brown was the same way. And a lot of the cats that I was hanging out with, they was married men with families, and they really was trying to be with their wife and their kids and taking care of business. You feel me?
yep.
So it's the same thing. If you ain't taking care of your business, brother, how you gonna own a dog? You know, a lot of times people want to run, talking about they gonna get a pit bull terrier, and then put them in what kind of condition are you gonna put them in? A swallow condition? Are you gonna feed the dog when it get hot? Is you gonna be out there to make sure he get water? Hey, it's more to just saying I got a certain kind of dog and I can walk around and take care of him for a week, and after that week it's over with. No, we talking to Thompson kennels, we talking to Brown kennels. These guys been doing this over 10 years and better. You know what I'm saying? And I mean doing it at a high level. And
Coming
they
from the
know
bottom.
me, and I've been doing it for a while. But the thing is, if you're not really committed to it, leave it alone. I mean, just hey, don't take the dogs through something that they don't have to go through. Don't sit there and breed dogs uh, and breed this dog, breed that dog every time a dog come and eat just to do a breeding, and then don't think about where these dogs gonna go at. Because if all of us were sitting here breeding dogs, after a while, you're gonna have so many dogs out here, they ain't gonna have places to go, but to be put down somewhere. I I like to see them be able to flourish and have a long life. Not only the dogs that I own, but you guys that's just getting into these dogs. It's good to have a network of people that you can look at, call on, ask advice about. And look, like I said, Thompson Kennels, he was the only guy that I seen that was doing that. That would impress me about what Thompson was doing. And then after Thompson started doing his thing, I seen Brown Kennel, he was doing his also. But you know, them guys was ahead of me. I didn't know how to do any of those things that these young cats doing. So
Oh, we're gonna drag your ass along.
my grandkids helped me get on Facebook. So that's as far as I go.
Yo, each one teach one, son. Each one teach one.
Hey,
Everybody learn
Yeah,
from
man.
each other, son.
yeah,
Yeah, just you keeping a relation, just me keeping a relationship with Fred. Fred taught me how to breed those dogs. He taught me, he gave me the information on dogs that I wasn't able to put my hands on. That's the key to breeding certain family trees of dogs. That's why I always tell the young guys, stay cool with who you came in the door with, if it's possible. Stay cool with who you came in the door with, if it's possible, because they have the information on stuff you don't know. And when you come down to those breedings and certain things, and you got the physical stuff, but they may be something in that line that they know about that they could warn you about. Hey, don't do that there. That's going to go left. Hey, you may want to put that on the bottom instead of putting that on the top. You know, those little tidbits of information, those little stories that was passed on about this dog, or this dog may have been a shy and timid, or this dog may have been a little bit of a man biter. I mean, it helps you tremendously when you're pairing dogs together,
it really
man.
Do now. It really do. It do. Not only that, but eating up the dog houses and stuff like that, eating wood chips, and I mean, eating the blue barrels until they spitting up blood and all kinds of crazy stuff. Eating roots out the ground, and I mean, when you talk about American Pit Bull Terrier, sometimes people, I don't know if people think that all American Pit Bull Terriers are pretty dogs, but I've seen some ugly jokers. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the ugly ones be the best ones that you can find, bro.
Right.
Don't get it twisted.
Right.
That cross-eyed dog, that dog with that underbite, oh, he got an underbite. Okay. You better not run into that underbite.
Boy, it's just a blessing in general, man. Because talking about the barrels and stuff, we'll bring that up, man. I'll throw it out there. I copped like 4 more metal barrels today. I know a lot of people comment on my yard and they'll notice I got like wooden dog houses. I got plastic barrel dog houses and stuff. And the reason why I got different styles of dog houses is because every dog can't be on the same living contingency. So I went ahead and started doing the metal barrels, and I've been cutting the half moons out. And this is just for the chat. I've been doing the metal barrels and cutting the half moon out and taking the metal file and filing down all around so it's nice and smooth, so it's no sharp edges to hurt the dog. And that's what I've been using for the crazy motherfuckers, the ones that you can't figure, because it gets to that point. Fred talked about some of these dogs and the temperament on some of these dogs. Some of them is cut like that where you have to go all metal. You just have to if you want to save the dog. And those little traits and stuff, because some dogs will chew shit, but they won't eat it. Then you got some dogs that'll chew shit and they're gonna eat it. And once they eat it, they up shit's creek. So just for the chat, I've been fucking with these metal barrels. I may do a video and show y'all how they've been looking. I put like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them out there for my really hard keep dogs that I gotta, like I said, they gotta just be all metal. It can't be nothing that they can break apart or something. But just like Fred alluded to, these dogs are a commitment. It takes a lot to keep these dogs alive, intact, and healthy, man. It takes a lot if you care.
Hey, yo, my slogan, like when people be like, they want an American Pit Bull Terrier. Everybody want an American Pit Bull Terrier. Everybody want a game bred dog. But at the end of the day, actions, I mean, can you handle what you wanting? You know what I mean? Like for real. You know what I mean? I asked, I mean, because I'm not trying to put a dog in somebody's hand and then the dog is, chewing bucket.
Too much dog for.
You know what I mean? It's too much. You know what I mean? Because everybody want an American Pit Bull Terrier. Everybody want a game bred dog. Sometimes, you gotta do your homework for one. I tell anybody, you gotta do your homework, man. It's all about homework, bro. You know what I mean? You got some dogs that's fast lane. You know what I mean? Fast pace. You got some that's calm. You know what I mean? You got some that click
It's
on
good to
with
be open with your breeder, man. It's
That
good to be open with your breeder.
now you just said something big, because I'm gonna tell you something what happened to me this week. A 73-year-old woman came to my house earlier in the week, and she wanted an American Pit Bull puppy. Now this lady is disabled, but she just moved here from Florida, and she's familiar with the American Pit Bull Terrier. And she said she don't want no other kind of dog but the American Pit Bull Terrier. And I understand what she's saying, but
right.
it comes back again to bloodlines.
Right.
Bloodlines, rather.
Do your
If
homework.
I have a bloodline or a line of dogs, or I have done a refining process of a line of dogs that I know that would be too serious for this woman to handle, I know in my heart of hearts, hey, nah, I ain't got nothing. But if I have something in my yard that I know that's intelligent, smart, calm, that could
Right.
fit the bill for this lady, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would sell her a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? I got dogs that would fit the bill for that lady to have. So what I'm trying to say, all my dogs are not buck wild like that. I just don't do buck wild all the time.
Right.
And I do got
And
some buck wild.
that alludes right back. That alludes right back to the refining process for the chat, because I want the chat to realize we all have 3 similar strands of dogs, but from our refining process, Brown's yard is completely different than my yard. My yard is completely different than Fred's yard, just because of the dogs that we were selecting over the years.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And
Hey,
y'all,
let me tell you.
let that soak in for the chat.
Hey, man, no. I've never been to Thompson yard before because I can't speak on that one. But I've been to Brown yard. I was in awe.
And Brown been in my yard.
Man, let me tell you, I went to
And
Brown
Brown ain't
yard.
want to pet nobody.
Hey, I got out the car and walked over to the dogs, and Brown was looking at me with his mouth wide open like, she finna bite you, man. She finna bite you. And I looked behind my leg. Bodacious was right there by my back leg. And I don't know what Bodacious that showed him or whatever. I just reached back there and patted her head. And Lady Gaga was there licking my hand.
Yeah.
Boy, let me tell you something, man. Hey, them was my dogs. You know what I'm saying? That Brown was looking for to tear me up.
And for the chat, for the chat who don't know, Fred bred Bodacious and he bred Cookie. Brown owned Bodacious and I own Cookie.
And he also,
so this is from what Fred.
He also owned Lady Gaga. He also owned Lady Gaga.
And Lady Gaga.
That was
and we talking about some old dogs, people.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
But you know what though?
Yep.
But you know what though? Yo, at the
And
end of the day,
remembered him.
Yeah. Hey,
you had them dogs for you had them dogs for years, and Fred ain't see them dogs in years.
Right, son. Right.
Years he ain't see them dogs, bro. You had them dogs a long fucking time, bro.
But you know, that's why I said.
And them dogs still remember him. But go ahead.
Hey, it's an honor because you know what? Yo, Fred put some good dogs in my hand, and I took care of them. And that's like I said, we learn from each other. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
You feel me, son? Like, yo,
hey, y'all 2 guys like my extensions, bro.
Real, man.
hey, let me tell you. Hey, I want to tell both of y'all why y'all here on the phone, bro. It's a lot of guys that coming up behind y'all, and you know, they trying to pull some information out of me and this and that, but they don't really realize how many hours y'all got up under the belt, man. They really don't know how many hours y'all done put in. You feel me? Y'all
Work.
put in some hours on the phone. Y'all put in some hours on the yard. Y'all done did y'all due diligence about what y'all was going to do. And look, bro, y'all done made it happen. And look, I'm just happy to see it came to fruition, man. I am not. It's just like y'all was an extension of my arms, man. You know, I seen many years ago that I wanted to do breedings that I didn't have the funds and the space and the energy to do it all by myself. Because Thompson was here at my house. He said, "Man, it looked like you got a way that I feed my dogs. I do it in such a way that it's almost like redundant. I come through doing certain things, and I'll be out in a couple hours. You know what I'm saying? That I'm almost like a robot when I get back there. But I feed my dogs every day. I don't skip a day. But man, over the years and years and years, I mean, I wanted to do certain breedings that I couldn't get done, and I seen them get done through y'all. So if you ever see a breeding that Thompson did, and if somebody asks me, ain't you jealous? He did it better than what you did. No, I'm not jealous. I remember Thompson was dealing with Brickyard. He did breedings that I was very impressed with. Thompson was dealing with another cat. Uh, what's the young
Kendrick
cat?
Kennels.
Kendrick. Yes, sir.
Kendrick Kennels. Shout out to Kendrick.
Man, let me tell you, I seen some breedings Kendrick did, and them other guys that Brown Kennel was dealing with, Patrick, and some other cats that had Fatback Brother and stuff like that. Them, what's his name? Patrick, I believe.
Patterson.
Patterson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize. Patterson. But them guys did breedings, man, with Thompson blood and Brown's blood, and they made these dogs look up. Hey, I'm amazed how far it went. So you're never jealous about it. I'm just impressed how other people think about what they're gonna do with it. I mean, Brown thought a different way
we just can't be petty no more, man. Like people, I mean, for the community to prosper, you want, like, why would you want to give somebody your blood and want them to fail? Because at the end of the day, that's really what you're doing, isn't it? You're giving somebody blood, and then you want somebody to fail with your blood. So how could you be angry or jealous or mad? I mean, if the dogs are getting better, man, that's salute to you. I'm glad just to be in the pedigree. That's why the pedigrees matter to me, just because I know I'm in there, and there's nothing you could do to take me out of there. I know the part that I played in that story, and I'm just happy to be a part of the story.
But
hey,
that's what we call campaigning, and we campaigned the 8-gram Manny dogs for many years. You know, I had a part, but you know, my yard was beginning and based off of Lady Gaga, but I did use 8 grams Manny to be that solid foundation. And then you used a part of it. Brown used a part of it. And that just proved my point. It wasn't just 8-gram Manny throwing good dogs. It was his grandkids also.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying,
bro. Facts, man. Facts.
Hey, not one time and time again, brother.
Facts, man. Like that's the truth.
Different breedings, man.
Hey, you can talk to other guys that got great grandsons, and it just like with Ronald. It's almost like what Ronald started, bro. Ronald started a family of dogs. If you breed them a certain type of way, and you take that and you breed it the way that it should be bred, you'll end up with just as good, maybe better than what Ronald did. Do you think Ronald gonna be jealous or upset behind that?
No,
I know the man. I know the man. And I'm gonna tell you, No, he's not going to be upset or jealous about
Hey,
none of that.
hey,
But the
Fred.
thing is, all he's really doing is taking the foundation that he put before us and making something out of it. Now, I had a piece of it, and I shared it with Brown, and I shared it with Thompson, and I'm hoping Thompson and Brown will carry it on farther than me, and the guys after him and Brown, they do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And look, that's what makes the history books. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, facts, man.
Mhm.
Hey, you
And
gotta.
go ahead,
One
Brian.
thing
Go ahead.
about it, yo. One thing about it, man. Yo, you gotta. You gotta learn. I mean, yo, we talking about a dog. You know, we talking about something. We talking about a companion. You know what I mean? Like, we talking about something you want to raise. You know, niggas don't. I mean, people don't even raise their kids. You know what I mean? To be on
Wow.
some fact. You know what I mean? You know what I am, boy. Shit, I'm dumb. I'll keep it 100. You know what I mean? Yo, people don't even raise their kids. You know what I mean? But to raise a dog. You know what I mean? So you're gonna raise this dog. You know what I mean? And hopefully you get what you want. You know what I mean? Hopefully you get what you want.
I'm a,
Because
I'm a,
at the end of the
I'm a, go ahead, Brown. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because I won't lose my thought on that. Go ahead, finish your thought.
nah, go ahead, elaborate, my boy.
Man, I wanted to allude to the picture thing. And the pit, when we talked about the pictures earlier, I
Right,
didn't know
right.
Manny. When I acquired a dog, and from me acquiring that dog and having the paperwork and sending the paperwork off is how I met Fred. But Fred and Anthony reached out to me because of that dog, and they sent me a picture. I wasn't personally just looking for a Boyle's dog. I was just looking for a solid dog at the time. But the picture that Fred and Anthony sent me was a picture of Manny. And Fred took that picture in front of the barbershop. I didn't know how Manny was bred. I knew nothing about that motherfucker. But from that picture that he
Hey
sent
yo,
to my phone, I got to go see this motherfucker in person.
hey yo, son. Hey, yo, you know I know, right? Hey yo, son, I never seen that picture, son. You know what I mean? I never seen
I
that
told you
picture.
about I told you. I sent the picture to you. I said, yo, I got to go to North Carolina and see what they talking about. I got you. I said, man, that ain't no Photoshop picture. That motherfucker looks dead.
Yeah,
Man,
son.
man, it's been so many good. I mean, hey, I've been taking pictures, man, for a long time, and uh, I really believe that's something that needs to be done, man. And that's why I always kept a record of different pictures and stuff like that. Even with Black Reggie, Armed and Dangerous, Ronald Boys hit me up the other day and asked me if I had any pictures of Red Rum, because every time I go to Ronald House, I was taking pictures of his brood boxes and anything that I think that I need to take a picture of. I was taking pictures. You know what I'm saying? You know, Ronald also he raised them gamecocks and stuff. But you know, Ronald is a true avid of animals, man. He got hunting dogs. He got beagles. I mean, he got those for trial purposes, man. He really is into dogs, man. I mean, he's not no play man when it comes to competition. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Even with the Boyles dogs, he had dogs that like we would say that look good. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to confirmation and correctness and stuff like that, he was into that. So when we see dogs, especially Boyles dogs, and the first one that I seen was at a friend of mine's house, uh, Four Kennels. Not Four Kennels. It was um uh what's the name? Um I forgot my man's name off the top of my head, but he had a little black Boyles dog, and man, that dog, when I seen that dog, I took pictures of that dog. And, that dog was chiseled out. I mean, it just was ridiculous. And it was a female dog, and I ain't never seen nothing like it before. So I asked the man if I could take a picture of the dog, and I didn't see that man for 3 years. But when I seen him at the grocery store one day, and he couldn't remember who I was, and I said, "Come here for a minute," and he said, "I wonder what this man want me to come here for a minute for." And I showed him his dog in my book. He said, "How you get this picture?" I said, "I took it when I came to your house." He said, "You did come to my house because this is my backyard." I said, "Yeah, I was there with such and so and so." And he said, "Oh, yeah, I remember now." And he wanted that picture back because he had never seen a picture of his dog look like that. And a lot of times these guys that got animals, they got them, but they don't even realize what they have. That's why a lot of times when it comes to American Pit Bull Terriers, if you ain't got the paperwork and stuff like that, it's a big difference. It's a big
Yeah.
difference. Because if you don't have the paperwork, you just got a dog that is going to be forgotten soon as
You know how they
you
say
die.
you pissing in the wind.
I mean, really, we out here today. We out here today representing many years of work.
Yeah, real talk.
I wouldn't even be on here, with Thompson and Brown talking about these dogs like that if it didn't mean something to me. You know what I mean? It means something to me. And my son, he ain't into it. I got a granddaughter. She's into it a little bit, but she don't help me feed. She don't help me feed up, and she don't help me get the dogs water. But when I was down with my eyesight and stuff, she helped me then. But she got a dog in the backyard. We just started breeding him to some dogs. He's about 3.5, and she got some black and tans back there. And man, I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it. I said, look at her go.
Hey, it get better and better. It get better and better, man.
Yeah, man. I got dogs out here that's 9 years old. I mean, I had the privilege of having 13-year-old dogs, man. I mean, some of them dogs, it's a commitment. It truly is a commitment. I don't do a lot of. This is what I enjoy doing, so I don't do a lot of other stuff because this takes a certain amount of commitment and time. There's no ways around it. It takes a high level of commitment and time to maintain it. I mean, it'll blow your mind, man. But you love it. That's why we all do it. We love these dogs, man. We love the historical aspects of them. In today's climate, it's hard out here, but there's a lot of work that go into this stuff, man. And people, I had to block somebody because it's always, yet again, paperwork has nothing to do with, like I said, what we were discussing. Performance is performance, and paperwork is a business aspect of these dogs. And I just had the luxury of knowing as like the years went by and we damn near over 10 years now, I look at a 4th-generation pedigree and it's me. It's like, that shit. It's like, what the fuck? I know all these motherfucking dogs. I put hands on all these motherfucking dogs.
And you know them. It ain't just to put your name on a piece of paper. It's to know exactly what you got on that piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? I can look back. Hey, Brown has seen me do it time and time again. I can tell you my dogs and what's in them dogs without ever going to Peds Online. Don't need it.
Yo, you call that shit off your head and you do that.
It meant that much to me. I can even call other people pedigree. But the thing is, a lot of people call me and ask me about other people's yards and stuff, but I can't really tell you about another man's yard like that because it's just like Thompson. He got some in the blood from what I got, Brown got some of the blood too. But one thing that both of them got that I can't understand is what them things act like. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and every person that only have a yard, it's going to change from yard to yard. So you can't really speak on another man's yard.
It's hard.
That's why
you can't.
That's why you can't be close. And when you talk about American Pit Bull Terrier, you can't be closed-minded. You can't say, "Well, I don't like this, and I don't like them dogs." And I mean, you shutting yourself down to a whole lot of dogs by saying that, because hey, you gonna miss out. And then a lot of times, guys say that and they miss out, and they find out the hard way. I mean,
they don't like something. They don't like something until they see a good one. Then when they see a good one, I've seen people talk about dogs and don't even know how they bred. And when you be like, "Yeah, that got that blood in it," and they be like, "Oh," you be like, "What do you like? You just saw some bad ones." Buying puppies is like a lottery ticket. Fred alluded to earlier in this podcast about we in our little circle we laugh and joke and who could pick the best dogs and who got that eye for them. But ain't nobody excluded from picking the dud. You gonna get good ones, you gonna get bad ones. The whole point of it is to move forward with the good ones and cast out the bad ones. But if you're purchasing a puppy, that's like buying a lottery ticket. If you don't know the breeder and you don't know what's going on, it's a lottery ticket. And sometimes you pick the bad ticket that didn't win. But that's not a reflection of a whole family tree of dogs. Even if you've seen five of them, if you see that 6, that's a spectacular. That erases the 5 that you see.
Hey yo. Let me elaborate on that. Right, it's crazy because I don't think I always be on some other stuff, man. Like I don't think people actually realize, most people see somebody got a breeding and pick a puppy because I guess they like the color or whatever they're looking for. You're looking at a puppy that's on a nipple. You know what I mean? You didn't get that puppy time to mature. You know what I mean? It takes time, son. Like at the end of the day, like y'all talked about earlier, that quiet darn puppy that always saying like, he ain't, you know what I mean? And it be the nicest one. You know what I mean? Full of drive, you know what I mean? Great confirmation, you know what I mean, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? But it's like they said though, you know what I mean? A lot of people not realizing when it come to this dog, these dogs, and you know what I mean, looking or having an eye, it's time and patience, my boy.
My yard is a reflection of me being impatient. And I say that to say this. I was a very impatient person. Fred can attest to this. So I was selecting certain dogs at a point that was real fast. Everything was real fast, real fast, real fast. And then when I selected those dogs and I moved forward with those dogs, they were producing dogs that was more fast, more fast, more fast, more fast. Now I'm a little bit older and I'll be looking for certain levels of intelligence. In the years of me breeding now, I'm way more patient. And for me selecting different dogs, it's slowly starting to change. Because now at 37, I just told y'all I got to get metal barrels and stuff. It's real. And that was from selecting a certain way, being impatient. So your yard can change just on what kind of vibe you're on when you're picking these dogs. The best thing is to have patience. And that was the hardest thing I had to learn in these dogs. Was just having some goddamn patience.
Yo, I put it like
this. I pay for it now dearly. I pay for it now dearly.
I ain't gonna lie. I can't do it, man. Like it just it take time, like I done failed a lot. You know what I mean? But every time y'all know I failed. You know what I mean? And a lot of men don't. I mean, keeping 100. A lot of people ain't even gonna face or tell, yeah, I failed. But like what you say, bro, keep scratching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you lose a little pups that you know what I mean, that you suspect, whatever. You know what I mean? It's time and patience, bro. Like, yo, you're gonna fail. You know what I mean? And not only that, it's all about what you want. You know what I mean? Like, yo, don't waste your. I'm gonna tell you straight up, yo, don't waste your time. That's something you
you
can't
don't
get
get,
back.
you can't. That's why I tell people, and feed what you like. Because I went through periods where I fed dogs I didn't like, and it was like, oh, everybody else likes it, but it's not what I like, and I fed them, and that's time that I wasted. Just like with the paper situation, all of that work that I was putting in, putting those breedings together and doing all that work, I had no way to get my just due credit. I had no way. And that's a hurtful feeling when you spend a lot of time, and when you a lot of time, money, time away from your family sometimes, and you invest in all of this effort in, and you're not going to get your recognition. And I mean, time Brown hit a key. Don't waste your time. You can go through phases. Everybody got to go through a phase in life and stuff, man. But time is valuable to me. You can't buy that. And I just don't have time to waste. I put too much work and time and money and effort into this.
I think it's a great thing that we're trying to make a platform where at least a few guys can pull from some knowledge that we have, and maybe get to see some of the dogs that we done put out there to the public. I know I got a lot of them that I done put out there to the public, and got a few.
And
I got a few new type of dogs that I'm bringing to the forefront, because
I know what you're cooking over there. I know
like
what you're doing over there.
Hey,
Doing over there, old man.
they told me they told me when Manny died, it's over with for me. But hey, we about to see.
I know what you're doing. I sent that pedigree to
We
Brown
about
with
to
that
see.
shit that you did with that old stuff we had. And Brown was like, I sent that pedigree to Brown, and Brown said, I know Fred sitting in his house like, y'all niggas watch this.
Hey man, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Hey,
I saw the pedigree. I said, oh man, boy, goddamn.
I see Katana. Brown took a dog named Katana from me as a young puppy. Hellsman sold it to him, but Hellsman got him for me, and then Brown got it for Hellsman. But the dog name was Katana, I believe. And Brown sent me a picture of Katana, and I couldn't even recognize the dog. The dog looked so good, man. I couldn't believe it was the same dog.
Katusha, that was that damn dog's name. I know, not Katana, Katusha.
Yeah, Katusha.
The Crush Blood. It was not the Crush Blood, but it was a sibling. Yeah, the Crush stuff. Yeah, man. I remember that Katusha dog.
Yeah.
He put the ooh up on that damn dog.
I think it was off of Crush Brother. Yeah. It was off of Crush Brother.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Reckless. A dog named Reckless. But
yeah, man.
The little puppies I got now, they act similar. They act similar to them dogs.
Man,
But
I like that. I like
those
that pairing that you did.
Some of them dogs back in the day, had different flaws. Like when they came time to breed, if they came in heat, they would have they would blow out in the back. They what you call it? It's the name. Prolapse. Yeah. And then you also had dogs that was having I would call like and wouldn't call it a stroke or nothing like that, but they would what you call that thing when you got to put a spoon in somebody's mouth, keep them from choking. Because
Seizure.
Yeah, I done seen dogs that was in different lines that had seizures and stuff. So like
people don't know about certain drugs, man, unless you ask
yeah,
and stuff, man.
yeah, and see a lot of dogs like when you say the refining process, people don't even get to see what all they didn't get to have. You know what I mean? Because somebody like me took it out of the line. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man.
it's just so many positive things that come from a good breeder. A good breeder, you're gonna have dogs that's gonna give you the best success rate. I mean, I believe I'm
Right.
putting dogs out there at a rate that my percentage on getting something good is gonna be greater than a whole lot of places you're gonna get your dogs from.
Yeah,
Because I
man.
didn't sit here and been putting some good dogs together for many years. Less like you were just saying about you were looking for the ones that was moving kind of fast. You know what I'm saying? Which a lot of guys they like that. They like that, but at the same time, they don't realize what all come along with that. You
It's a
know,
lot to
so
it. It's a
yeah,
lot. It's a lot. And for the people in the chat who don't know, it's a lot. You hear me? It's a lot. It's
Hey,
not a little.
hey, no
It's a
lie.
lot.
Hey, talk to your breeder, man, because like I done had dogs that literally because they so zooted, like you blow their mind. Their mind is blown. You know what I mean? Like literally blown.
You can see it in their eyes. What Fred said, his eyes was glowing. My partner see the podcast. He said, "Yo, man, that old dude that just said, he said that dog eyes was glowing. Yeah, man, they be glowing, man.
man,
You want it until you
I
get it.
guess a lot of people won't even get a chance to even experience that until it's right there in front of them. And sometimes that can be a good experience, and sometimes it can be a bad experience. You know, uh, I know at the beginning of the podcast this time we were talking about different ways of breeding dogs and stuff, and I remember, uh, like I said, we're gonna have to go back to when I first started messing with pit bulls and stuff. I was used to taking a boy dog and putting it in a cage with a female dog, and they're gonna take care of business. Now I'm gonna tell you something. You might can have a lab, and they might do the thing for you. You might can have some bullies. You might can have some bully blues, and you can put them in a cage together, and you might can come up with something. You know,
Right.
it's other dogs that
That
you can do that.
and,
But
that, and hold on, Fred, before you start cooking. That's that question. That's the topic that we had on tonight too. Hard dogs to breed. But go ahead and finish your statement, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just thinking about some of the questions that you had put out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And, that I, I I said, man, when you talking to the public like this, you got to reach all the way back to the person you used to be, Thompson. You know what I'm saying? Brown,
Yes, sir.
you got to think about the person you used to be before you became Brown Kennels. You know what I'm saying? Before
Right.
you became Pitbull City. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even. My son bought a Pitbull home, and I had a Shepherd mix, and he bought a little pit bull home, and I didn't even know what a pit bull was. This dog wasn't 26 pounds soaking wet. But I tell you one thing, he act like he was 80 pounds. But man, I didn't even know what a pit bull was, to tell you the truth, until later on. And but I think in the same understanding of that, you know, when people talk about American Pit Bull Terrier, you gotta think about what you're about to get. You gotta think about trying to learn about the dogs before you just jump into something. Because a lot of times you can either find out the right way and the wrong way of doing things. And like when we talk about breeding, a good friend of mine, he told me, he said, Fred, you better stop putting them dogs in the cage together like that. I said, why? They gonna take care of it. He said, Fred, you gonna come out here one day, and only be one dog, or both of them might be dead in there. I said, man, no, you joking. He said, no, man, these not dogs you can put in together like that.
Right.
And you know
right.
what? Some things you learn the hard way. You understand? You don't want to learn the
Yep.
hard way. You really don't. I mean, because,
Hey,
hey, you won't be ready for what you're going to see. And you
right.
won't be prepared for it mentally or anything
Yo, Thompson, you
else.
already know I ain't gonna go there.
Hold up. Hey, Brown, I'm going somewhere with this.
Hey, I ain't gonna go there,
I'm
son.
working it out. I'm working it up to it, Brown. Please, come on now.
Okay.
You remember my train of thought. Hey, breeding
Go there.
stand. You better have one. Ain't that right, Brown?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
ain't that right,
I
Brown?
know y'all cracking. I know you gonna crack jokes. I know y'all gonna
Hey,
crack jokes. I know.
both
I
of
know what the
y'all.
fucking inside
Hey,
joke. I know what the fucking
no,
inside joke is
I
about.
can't crack no joke because I had to buy one too. Hey, I had to buy one too, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a breeding stand. Hey, some people call them a rape stand, but it is not a rape stand. It's a breeding stand, and what it does, it helps you to cut down on bad accidents during breeding. Because when you have American Pit Bull Terriers, you can have a male that don't want to breed to a female. And
Right.
it's possible for that male, if he's a bad one, to bite that female in the center of her back and break her back that easy.
Right.
It's
Right.
possible.
That easy.
It's possible for that female to rip that dog's face clean off. It's
Right.
possible.
Because
But
once
the
it
thing, what
started, it
I'm
started.
telling you, we just breeding the dog. You understand?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
just don't think that you
It
see
can't happen.
Thompson on YouTube and say, well, yeah, he breeding the dog, whoop, 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 in the third, I'm going to do that too. I see Brown on YouTube and he going to breed. See, like on Facebook, I don't even put them stuck together on my Facebook because I got all kinds of people on my Facebook, like people that, you know, sisters and
Right.
family
Right.
members, church members, and stuff like that. They don't want to see that kind of stuff. So I
Right.
don't put no dog stuff together on my
Respect
stuff.
to much love and respect to the church members out there. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Try to be respectful. But at the same time, when I'm going to tell you, this is for Brown Kennels.
Talk
I
to me
was
before.
breeding American Pit Bull Terrier pups. And I didn't understand what I was doing as far as when you put these pretty pedigrees together. Sometimes they click. And if they do click, you best to be prepared. Because if you're not prepared, you're going to have a bloody mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it can
Mm-hmm.
start at 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, and 9 weeks old.
I see it.
And I'm telling you, it's not pretty.
I see it.
And
It's
at the
not.
same time, you know, I used to, when I first got into American Pit Bull Terriers, I'll be walking around on my yard. And Thompson see my yard. I had dogs lined up from one point all the way down to the other end, probably 15 chain spots, all the way
Look
down,
like a
straight
landing
down like,
strip.
yeah. And I had little halfway dog houses where they can run under the ground and stay out the sun. And, it was nice. All I had to do was walk through there and feed up and keep it moving. And I, still had a job and all that, taking care of business. But what I'm telling you is this. If you got these dogs, and this is not something to tell you because you're dog fighting or nothing like that. But one thing I'm going to tell you, you better have a breaking stick.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what a breaking stick is, a breaking stick is a tool that you use to break a dog's lock if he lock onto something. Because you are not going to be able to pry that dog loose with your fingers. You can forget about it. I don't care how big the dog is. He can be 28 pounds soaking wet. If he's bigger than that, if he's in his 40s or 50s, you can really forget about it. But a friend of mine told me, Fred, you ain't got a breaking stick? I said, no, I ain't never had to use one. He said, let me tell you, you keep on doing what you're doing, you're gonna have one. And you know, the day came with puppies. It was with puppies. It didn't even have to wait till I got the big dogs, but with puppies, I had to hurry up and get some break sticks. I mean, if
I
you
want to
got
add
these
on to
dogs,
that.
you better hurry up and get them.
When you guys are doing some of these breedings, and that's why I would say, quality over quantity. Know where you stand at with your amount of dogs you have when you're doing your breeding. Do not, and I'm gonna emphasize this off of what Fred just said. Do not do these fucking breedings thinking that you're gonna always be able to keep these puppies together for 6, 8 weeks.
Wow.
You better have a mindset when you do your breeding. If this shit go left, I gotta separate 5 dogs.
XYZ.
I gotta separate.
XYZ.
Gotta separate them
quick in a hurry.
in a hurry.
And some people allow the puppies to stay there and do whatever. I'm not that type of guy. I don't let my puppies stay there. And
it's worse with puppies, because for people who don't know, if you're just listening, puppy teeth are like hypodermic needles. They like razor blades. The damage puppies do to each other is nothing compared. I mean, what big dogs is. They're like they're gang fighting with razor blades. They will massacre each other.
Some people don't realize that American Pit Bull Terrier can inflict that kind of damage as a puppy. And a lot of people say, "Oh, it's just a puppy." You best to realize. You best to realize, even as a little baby, you got a snapping turtle. I mean, something that can close their mouth and have a lot of trouble real fast. I don't know if people really understand that, but this is really American Pit Bull Terriers. And like you said, Thompson, this is not something that we are sitting here wanting to.
Want no praise?
It's nothing to indulge it. We're not putting praise on. And like I said, we giving facts. Go ahead, Brown.
Nah, cause ain't nobody want no praise on nothing, son. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like, yo, for one, you talking about a dog. You know what I mean? A canine. Like, for real, man. I mean, I go back to dogs when my first book was American breeders. You know what I mean? Just dog breeds. You know what I mean? I'm talking about 500 pages of different breeds of dogs, working dogs. You know what I mean? Game, not even game. It was working dogs. You know, I seen dogs like American Staffordshire. You know, you read, you see where the dog come from, what it was used for. You know what I mean? So at the end, when you look at it now, you know, people went left with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People, because it was a bull baiting dog. It was a bull baiting dog. You know what I mean? Dogs used to go out there and bull bait.
They were originally bred to fight bull. They was originally bred to fight bull.
You know, people don't go way back.
Then they got outbanded, and then they had to fight each other.
Yeah, they
There's
just
a
they
lot
they
into this breed.
it's different, man. You gotta. I mean, a lot of people jump in the game now and just look at like I said earlier. I want an American Pit Bull Terrier. I want a game bred dog. But
Well, Brown,
like
you got to understand this. We are in 2023.
right,
Not only in 2023, we got people that live in the city that have
Yep.
a bunch of dogs in the city. We got guys that getting these dogs that don't know nothing about what they're doing, bringing them around their kids and don't have no idea what kind of dog they bringing around because they hadn't did their due diligence or homework behind what they're doing. But if you think about bringing a dog into the city, you best to be knowing what you have because
right.
you best
That's facts.
best to know what you got. And you know, the
Yeah,
breeder,
man.
the breeder isn't responsible for what you gonna do. Uh, if you're stupid, if you stupid, you know what I'm saying? Uh, I'm breeding dogs that I like. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna take the dog from my situation that I have them in, and you can ask my wife or anybody, my brothers, anybody in my community. My dogs don't run around the community. They don't see my dogs
Yeah.
out of my control. My dogs stay within my control. I'm responsible for my
This is,
animals 24
you
hours a
took
day.
the word right out of my mouth.
24,
Responsible.
24 hours a day. So if you was to buy a dog from me, you're going to take your dog from a secure area into your area. And just like you said, if you do a breeding and it takes 65 days for you to get them puppies on the ground, then it's going to take another 6 weeks for them puppies become moving around. You can't say you didn't have time to make sure that you have proper, you know, place for these dogs.
Housing.
Right,
So
right,
if something go left, don't be hustling backwards. I ain't got no money and this, that, and the other, and crying about the situation you done put yourself in because you done bred a dog. Or I'm getting a dog off a grand champion such and so, and I got a dog off a champion. This one in the left, and he's a two-time winner and to the third power. Okay,
right,
but just make sure you're able to control that because
right.
everybody ain't privy to understanding
What you getting?
that. And see, some of these guys are around other guys talking that stuff, and they want to be a part of it. But even
Facts.
if you're around these guys and you think that's something that you would like to get into it, do it, but do it in the right way, and just take your time
Yeah.
and don't jump off the porch without knowing what you're jumping into. And if you get around some people that ain't really showing you the real deal, try to get around some guys that are at least going to give you the benefit of the doubt where you won't screw up something.
Right,
Yeah, man. It's easy to ruin these animals. It's real easy to ruin them. But man, we
Yo,
done cooked up for damn near 2 hours and some change, man.
right.
I got,
Like
I
it's a
gotta,
group.
I gotta honestly say, man, this was a very insightful because, like I said, I'm trying to get this podcast out for the young guys coming out, and I want to show them all the avenues. And at the end of the day, your decision is in your hands. But I would at least like to say I did my due diligence as a part of this breed to enlighten people. You know what I mean? This is about enlightenment. You know, it's different avenues and different groups of people. There's tons of people in these dogs. Brown alluded to earlier, dogs were used for bull baiting. They've got terrier in them. Like, even historically speaking, man, I've seen dogs that didn't turn out combat dogs, but were great hog dogs. They were great farm dogs. You get what I'm saying? These dogs have a lot of different facets to them. They may not excel at one lane, they may like excel at another lane. And you can't really be shocked by it because it's in their blood to be that way. These dogs were used for a lot of different stuff. A lot
Yeah,
of different stuff. And
yeah,
some of these lines, you don't know what some people did home protection.
yeah.
Speaking
You
of the
got
termite
American,
stuff.
you got American Staffordshires. You know what I mean? Like, yo, know what you're getting into. You know, like American Pit Bull Terriers. You know what I mean? American Staffordshires. Know what you're getting into. You know what I mean? Know the breed of dogs you're dealing with. It's different breeds. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people right now relating, like the ADBA, nothing to deal with, but they letting what the blue dogs in now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It-
So
these dogs are
so
taking a spin in 2023. Go ahead, bro.
yeah, it's like yo, it's all man. Back in the days, you could get a dog for like 200, 250. You know,
Man, you going in and out, bro. Yeah, man. It's today's society and these dogs. The overall aspect of what this podcast tonight was for was basically do your due diligence, do your research. Breeding stands and breaking sticks are not dog fighting paraphernalia. They're common tools for people who own these dogs. A breeding stand can not only be used as a breeding stand, a breeding stand can be used as a grooming stand because I use it. I use a breeding stand to cut my dog's nails. I use a breeding stand when I got to give them ear medicine. All them dogs that want to wrestle and fight you to do everything,
Yeah,
you can use a breeding stand to do all of that stuff. Cut their
yeah,
toenails, put their ear medicine in, groom them, whatever you got, whatever type of medical stuff you may have to do with them. All
right,
of them
right.
ain't gonna stand there and let you do it. A breeding stand is necessary for a lot of different things with these dogs. Breaking
yes,
sticks are necessary for these dogs. You could have a stray dog come on your yard. You can
oh
have
man,
anything can happen with these dogs. I
Right.
know Fred was gonna say something, but
oh man.
but
I
what
don't
you
want to
call
say.
you can have a
I
lot of
don't really
different
want to
stuff.
say, but it can be real bad.
Don't even say don't yeah, it was real bad. But like I said, you got to be prepared for all of these aspects, and for the new guys getting into these dogs, sometimes one dog at a time ain't gonna hurt you. I'm gonna say this again: one dog at a time ain't gonna hurt you. Sometimes take it
Oh,
slow. I didn't start off with the amount of dogs that I had. I have
One dog.
now because I've been breeding over the years, so I keep my dogs from my breedings. I keep puppies, and that is what my yard is. The breedings that I've done over the years. But sometimes starting off slow is the best way. Don't overwhelm yourself where you got to be grabbing and grabbing and grabbing. Sometimes take it slow. I mean, do your due diligence with the one dog, and if you really love it like that, then say, hey, I want something else like this. Take your time. Sometimes going 20 before you hit 60 is the best way to go. Just free advice
right.
from me to the chat or new people coming into the dog.
You're
Take your
right.
time sometimes. Because when it goes bad, it goes bad. And when you can't control it and you don't have the means to house them, they're killing themselves because you can't give the adequate homes for them. I mean, the housing and all the shit you gotta keep up with these dogs. It becomes overwhelming and then it's not fun anymore. Some people are one people dogs, some people are yard people. You know what I mean? You got to figure out what person you fit in, what avenue you fit in. But there's nothing wrong with being a 1, 2 dog, 5 dog person. This ain't about who has the most. And don't approach it like that. Because the more time you spend with each dog, the more you see out of that dog. There's dog when you get so many, you don't really know who they are. You know what I
That's,
mean? It can get like that. So give yourself enough space to maneuver.
I can agree to that, because a lot of times my wife might come in the backyard and ask me one of the hardest questions that I ever had uh, with the dogs is, what's that one name?
Real talk, right?
Hey, and I look at her like, I don't know.
Right.
Dog, come here. Hey, all of them ain't hustle, man. All of them ain't Manny.
Nah,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying? All of them ain't Bam Bam. All of them ain't Gaga. Hey, if they ain't make it to the cut yet, and they ain't made it to the cut yet, they don't get no name.
I know how you rock it.
I ain't lying. You know what I'm saying?
Your
I
dogs
ain't
don't know
gonna
they
give you
name,
no
so they about
name
to.
yet. Hey, Thompson, you used to say, man, you told me you don't never get rid of that dog. Yeah, right.
Oh shit.
Let them numbers come up right. I'm gonna be waving bye-bye.
Well, you have boy. Man, you fucking choking this shit.
Would have had that.
At least I ain't lying. I ain't lying to you, babe. I'm not lying.
Well, you have, bro. That's why I fuck with you,
I
bro.
did it many times, and you know it.
I know shit. I know it shit. That's that's the privilege of it, man. You know what I mean? You put hard work in
I'll put it
to
like
your
this.
dogs,
I would put it like
and
this.
people want them.
A brown nose. If you got a good dog, and you feel like you took that dog as far as you can take it, why don't you let him move on to somebody that's gonna do just like you were saying. Start off slow, and if you got 3 or 4 dogs, you can spend time with them and teach them something, and you can enjoy them, right? But when you got
Right.
15, 20 dogs, somebody gonna come up short. You feel me? So
Yeah, man.
I look at it like this, bro. If I have 15 of them and I just did a breeding, somebody finna go. So
Yep.
if somebody hit me up and say, Fred, do you got an older dog? Fred, do you got a puppy? Fred, do you got a female? I start thinking in my head, Thompson might remember, but I know Brown knows. Every time you do a breeding, you got 2 years.
Yep.
You better know you got 2 years every time you do a breeding. You ain't gonna know what you got until them 2 years is up.
Yeah.
If you do it, if you got that dog and you take them faster than 2 years, to say, I'm taking them through my little refining process or whatever, and you say, well, this dog made it to 12 months and he gone already. Well, somebody else finna find out if this good dog a bad dog or whatever. But if you can go for that, hey, that's good. But if you can't go for it, and you kind of like, man, I'm mad this man he got my dog, you shouldn't have never let him go nowhere.
Yep.
Right.
Because
Right.
some dogs
We alluded to it.
be impressive after a while, and then you wish you would have kept the dog. But at the same time, if you let it go, it's gone.
It's gone,
Yep.
son. It's gone.
Very few people will want to. Like I said, we was talking about people, customers, and people that receive dogs and stuff. And Fred alluded to the grown man stuff. Being around grown men. Those are the kind of people in the clientele that you want to deal with. How we all have something in common. We all family men, work, do that whole number, take care of what we got to take care of. That's really the clientele that you want to look for. You know, find people that are like-minded like you that you give your dogs to.
That's
And
facts.
if they're like-minded like you, and that dog that you sold them turned out to be X, Y, and Z, and they were like-minded like you, they'll call you back on the phone and say, "Hey, man, I don't really know how to breed dogs, but he's this, that. I'll take him back to you." The collabos that Fred said, the building relationships and dealing with
Right.
people that are stand-up people and grown men. When you deal with children in these dogs, you get children activity. When you deal with solid grown men and grown women too, I ain't gonna forget the dog women out there too, because I purchased a dog from a dog woman. What you call? When you deal with solid people, you don't have a lot of issues. You really don't. You know, so selective breeding and selective selling. We're gonna add that to the dictionary. Selective selling.
A selective
Selective.
selling. Hey,
Selective
I put
selling.
it like this. It's selective anyway because you think about it, man. They've been doing selective stuff from the beginning. You know, if you wouldn't in my little circle, you wouldn't gonna get none of my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So now, you know, we got guys now that looking for dogs out here that looking for good dogs. And hey, I put it like this: if I got something special, and hey, now I feel like it just needs some more room at somebody else's yard, and somebody else feeding the dog, and somebody cleaning up that poop every day. Hey, I put it like this: I'm your guy to see, and we make we don't make this happen because look, I enjoy breeding dogs. I enjoy selling dogs. I enjoy people getting a good dog to be able to step off with. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for one that's gonna be like Thompson said, with the gas to the pedal, hey, hey, I know all kinds of people that I deal with that got all kinds of dogs, all kinds of bloodlines. And you know, and Thompson knows,
Yep.
Brown knows. If I don't have it, and I feel like Brown got something, and Brown trying to get something off, and he got something that might be interested to somebody, hey, I throw them towards Brown, or Brown throws them towards me, and Thompson does the same. You know, that's what we call
Yeah.
networking. I mean,
Yeah, because
if,
everything may not be up everybody's alley, and you just got to be honest, and you can't be so money hungry
but
when
the
you
thing
know you
is,
can't provide something for somebody, and you know
yeah,
somebody that can provide it.
well, a lot of people don't want a network with somebody else because they want everybody to shop with them. But do they realize even if they don't get to shop with you, that you're gonna be that catalyst that help them to get to the point that they at? And so, like a lot of times,
Exactly.
you know, some guys I uh, help them, right? And some people reach back out to me and say, "Thanks, Fred. I appreciate it, man. Hey, you looked out for the cookout that time." And some guys don't even give me the courtesy of nothing. Like I owe them that. And you know, you got this society now that they really like that. They think the world owe them something. But you know, hey, it is what it is, brother. But old people
We
used to
we
tell
gonna go
me,
ahead and wrap it.
old people used to say, be careful how you treat people, because you might have to come back that way.
Exactly. And I think we gonna end it on that note because we had a good long cookout tonight, man. 2.5 hours. I want to say shout out to the chat for everybody showing up and sticking around for as long as they did. Um, I'm trying to get these podcasts to a point where we cooking up on questions. I'm gonna post on the community page when we do our lives, and I'm gonna say if you want questions asked, type them in the comment section, and we can bring them up during the show for next week's show. But I can't interrupt the show to always answer questions that's in the chat. So just for future reference for anybody who is asking questions, I just want my brothers to be able to cook up here and give their stories and give their advice to the future generation of dog men and dog women getting into these dogs. And we're going to tell you the uncut truth sometimes. We're not glorifying anything. No dog sold, raised, bred, advertised, or trained for any illegal purposes. I cannot stress that enough. But this is what we're talking about, just opening up avenues for the young guys getting into these dogs. So I appreciate the chat. I appreciate my brother Fred. This is your second time on the show. I hope you're on many more. I'm trying to get y'all as a solid panel. Brown, I know you be napping. I be trying to wake your ass up sometimes. I want you to be a consistent on the show, brother. And you know, and I just want to say thank y'all, brothers, for coming on, and thank y'all for the journey we've been on over these years, man. I appreciate that, and I'm glad to say I came up around solid, strong brothers.
Well, you're so much welcome, man. I think you're doing a great thing, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I just think about the new guys that's coming out here that want to get into these dogs that don't know anything and don't know where to go to get some good advice or a good direction. Even if I don't have it, hey, I'll point you in a direction that's going to be positive for you. If it ain't going to be positive for you, I just tell you I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If I can't help you, I'm not going to hurt you.
Exactly. Hey, Fred, what is your social? I know you do Facebook. How can you be reached? Let the chat know for anybody who want to reach out to you.
I'm on Facebook. Just hit Fred Davis on Facebook.
Got you, my brother Brown. I want to say I appreciate you for coming on. Thank you again, bro. I think you dropped. Oh, here you go. You came back in. Thank you. Add the stream. Hold on. There you go. I just want to say, Brown, I appreciate you coming through, brother. You got a social media page or something that you want to let the people? I know you got the YouTube Brown's Kennels on YouTube, but you got some social media that the people can reach you at. Oh, Brown's out. But what you call Brown is on YouTube. Type in Brown's Kennels if y'all guys need to reach him. I want to say appreciate everybody for swinging through this Thursday night and cooking with us. Y'all have a blessed one. And everybody, hold them down, do right by your dogs, and God bless.